Welcome to Clydeberry Field on the campus of Henderson State University in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, as we bring you Southeastern Oklahoma State against Henderson State in an elimination game here in the Great American Conference Tournament. I'm Michael Westbrook along with Joey McWilliams. Yesterday, Southeastern lost to Arkansas Monticello by the score of 8-1. UAM has moved on in the winners bracket, and they will face Arkansas Tech, who defeated Henderson State by a much closer margin, 3-2 in that one. Let's talk about that game first, Joey. Henderson State came up on the wrong end of a 3-2 score. They were in the game throughout because of their pitching, and they have the home field advantage as well. Their game a little bit closer than the Southeastern loss yesterday.
Well, you talked about the pitching. The freshman Zach Eschberger coming in, pitched 7 1/3, gave up just 8 hits, but of course the 3 runs there. And the thing about the game yesterday, you talked about it being close. Both teams had 10 hits. It's just that Tech was able to plate one more, and that was the ultimate decision or margin.
Henderson State is the visiting team in this game, occupying the third base dugout. We'll talk more about yesterday's matchups. Hunter Mayall is up first, followed by Jordan Taylor and Hayden Lessenberry. Middle of the lineup features Tadarius Hawkins, Joseph Gary, and A.J. Cruzel. And the bottom 3 is Jared Gage, Luke McGuire, and Alex Morgan. We're underway with a 1-1 count as Matt Benedict takes the mound for the Savage Storm. A 3.61 ERA this year, 6 wins and 3 losses in 19 appearances, 62 1/3 innings pitched this season. 2-1 is fouled out of play, leveling the count at 2 apiece. 76 hits. He has given up 25 earned runs. He's walked 16 and struck out 48. Opponents have a .304 batting average against him. Identical records for these two teams. 2-2 ground ball is hit to Tim Hunter at short. The long throw to first is in time. 1 up and 1 down. 29-24 the record for Henderson State and for Southeastern. And here's the defense behind Matt Benedict. Jake Perez in left field, Dylan Helms in center, Brandon Grimsley in right, Logan Terwilliger at third. You just heard from Hunter making a play at shortstop. Caleb Thomas, the second baseman, Corbin Taylor at first, and Greg Husnander behind the plate. Brings up the third baseman from Bryan, Arkansas, Jordan Taylor, and he fouls back the first pitch for strike 1. Taylor entering the day with a .304 batting average, leading his team in doubles with 14. Coach Matheny had a lot of confidence before the game going to Matt Benedict in this one. He went to 7 pitchers yesterday, I think. I have that number right.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
But after Dylan Linke did not make it out of the second inning, pretty much gave everybody about an inning.
Yeah, we talked about that with Coach Matheny. We'll get to hear from him in just a moment regarding that. But Benedict 6-3, and as you mentioned, he's very confident going to him on the mound.
The 1-2 pitch fouled away. Taylor hangs in there on that one.
No one for sure. No one is tired today. No one has a rubber arm. No one is exhausted after that 8-1 loss yesterday.
Ball and 2 strikes to Taylor. Again, fouling it out of play. So our second game features Arkansas Tech and Arkansas Monticello. And then the 7 o'clock game tonight will feature the winner of this one against the loser of our next game. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Benedict strikes out Jordan Taylor. We have 2 down in the top of the first. Bring up the center fielder. The designated hitter, Hayden Lessenberry.
Lessenberry able to get on yesterday. 1 for 3. Walked a couple of times. And he extended his hit streak to 9 coming into today's game.
Take an off-speed pitch inside for ball 1. It's 340 down the lines here at Clydeberry Field, 365 into the alleys, and 390 to straightaway center. Here's one hit to center field. Dylan Helms fielding the position, trailing back, there to make the catch. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Henderson State. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. After a half inning of play, the Reddies nothing. Savage Storm coming to bat in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
Bottom of the first inning, no score as Henderson State was retired in order in their half of the first. And now we'll see Southeastern at the plate for the first time in this one. Their lineup, Dylan Helms leads things off, followed by Caleb Thomas, then Logan Terwilliger. The middle three is Corbin Taylor, Greg Husnander, and Brandon Grimsley. The bottom three, Connor Counts, Tim Hunter, and Jake Perez. Going against Chris Hunt, the junior has a 4.7 ERA. From Greenwood, Arkansas, out of Crowder Community College. 5 wins and 6 losses in 15 appearances, 1 complete game. He's pitched 92 innings this season, giving up 118 hits, 48 earned runs, 23 walks, 71 strikeouts, and opponents hitting .305 against him. So the center fielder from Eufaula, Oklahoma, a transfer from Seminole State a couple of years ago, at the plate first for the Savage Storm, and he'll take on the corner for strike one. Daniel Rios is our home plate umpire. Chris Booker at first, Brandon Meisen at second, and Brad Clark at third. 0-1 to Helms, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2.
Helms was the only member of the Savage Storm to have anything remotely considered success against the pitching yesterday from Monticello. 2 for 5.
Ground ball on the infield, picked up by Alex Morgan, the second baseman, over to first, 1 up and 1 down.
Order finally went around to him one more time. Just Storm just couldn't get the bats going, and that was a big part of yesterday's loss. It wasn't all just the pitching, as we see Henderson State and their defensive lineup.
Luke McGuire in left, Darius Hawkins in center, Joseph Gary in right, Jordan Taylor at third, Cruzel at shortstop, Alex Morgan at second, Hunter Mayall at first, and Jared Gage behind the plate. Well, and even when Dylan Helms did reach base, he was eliminated twice on a double play from Caleb Thomas. A couple of ground ball double plays. And Thomas behind in the count, 0-2. .324 average for Thomas. 25 runs batted in, 11 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run this season. Second baseman from Denison, Texas. Chris Hunt misses outside, 1-2.
Well, if you can't get Helms going and you can't get Thomas going, 1 and 2 in the lineup, it's going to be part of a recipe for probably a loss. You know, Thomas actually has been a part of the Southeastern run parade over the course of the last few games. He has scored prior to yesterday's game, in which he did not cross the plate. He had scored in 16 of the 18 previous games for Southeastern, and really a big part of the offense that you mentioned, hitting those doubles plays twice, didn't get across the plate. That's not good. Doesn't bode well for the Storm.
That one misses up high, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 1 for 4 day yesterday for Thomas. Had a single back in the 4th inning of that contest against UAM. Here comes the 2-2 from Hunt. Hard hit ground ball. Shortstop has it though. A.J. Cruzel to first. And it's 2 up and 2 down. That brings Logan Terwilliger to the plate with the bases empty. .333 average for the senior. He's driven in 45 this year. Slugging percentage of .572 because of these numbers. 12 doubles, 2 triples, and 9 home runs. Struck out a couple of times yesterday. That one crosses the plate for a strike, 0-1.
Senior heavy lineup for Southeastern today. Slightly different than yesterday for Coach Matheny. And Terwilliger, the 3rd of 7 consecutive seniors in that lineup. 1 through 7 today. All seniors for the Storm. Playing an elimination game, what could be their final game. course, Storm fans wanted to go a little farther.
Chris Hunt could not have had a more perfect pitch. That last pitch, it hit the glove right where it was supposed to. And that one misses outside. It's 1-2 now. Pitch from Hunt fouled away. We saw Southeastern yesterday swinging away in the first couple of innings, then started to slow down their approach at the plate. One and two the count, and that one swung on and missed. So Chris Hunt shuts down the Savage Storm in the first. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. After one full inning, no score here at Clydeberry Field in Arkadelphia on the GAC Sports Network.
We explore dozens of complex subjects, but sometimes the world sees college students as being the same, lumps us together. That's okay, because the world may underestimate what we can do as strong, responsible, highly trained, and confident Christian professionals. And isn't that what the world needs? Qualities taught one-on-one and valued by us all in a place of faith, learning, and living. Harding University.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
It's the top of the second inning, no score between Henderson State and Southeastern. Again, Henderson State, even though it's their home field here, they are the visiting team in this one. Jadarius Hawkins will lead things off, followed by Joseph Gary and A.J. Cruzel. Now that's the spot to be for the game.
If you have a little
the
sunscreen.
grandstand area. Yeah, you probably need some sunscreen
today.
It's going to be a warm day, as Hawkins will take inside for ball one. Yesterday we ranged between 75 and 82 degrees or so. It's 75 degrees at game time here, a south wind of 5 miles per hour. Sunny skies. Should be a beautiful day for 3 games.
Yeah, it looks like it might not get any higher than 83. It may feel warmer than that, though.
A 1-1 is hit to left field, and that is going a long way. It one-hops the wall. Jake Perez has some trouble coming up with it. Rounding second and heading to third is Hawkins, and he is there at third base with a triple. And for Tadarius Hawkins, that is triple number 4 this season, but he's set the school record for most in a career with 10. And he is at third base to lead off the second inning with nobody out.
You get the combination of a well-hit ball like that, found a nice gap there in left center, got the bat around quickly on it, and then having the wheels that Hawkins does. That'll make for a career record in triples.
Joseph Gary at the plate. Off-speed pitch from Benedict finds the strike zone, 0-1. Well, that can spark your team in a hurry. There's number 7. Hard hit ground ball. Uh-oh, they've got him in a rundown at third. Terwilliger throws home to the catcher Husnander. Back to the shortstop covering. Hunter tags out Tadarius Hawkins. And we mentioned yesterday that Henderson State had Hawkins at third base in a game against Arkansas Tech with nobody out, and he was out at third on a missed bunt when he tried to break home. And here he just made an early move towards home, thinking that Terwilliger would throw to first.
Well, that was probably the single most unfortunate place for that ball to be hit as far as Hawkins was concerned with the leadoff that he had. Right to third, no place to go.
So Joseph Gary reaches on the fielder's choice, advances down to second during all of that. And it's 0-1 to A.J. Cruzel. One out, runner at second. A break for the Savage Storm. Big jump off of second as that one bounced away from Husnander, but Gary will stay put. A ball and a strike with one out. And the shortstop from Cincinnati, Ohio at the plate. Another left-handed bat in this lineup for the Henderson State Reddies and for head coach Cody Hooten. 145 wins in his career as the head coach at Henderson State. Last year able to pick up his first 30-win season for the Reddies. He's trying to do that again today with 29 wins. He also spent 3 years as an assistant coach for the Reddies before becoming the head coach in his 6th season now. Cruzel has a 3-1 count. Sometimes it's a game of inches, and you have to have things bounce your way. It did not bounce Southeastern's way yesterday, but that's a big break in this one here in the second inning.
Now, this is his first stop as a head coach. He was an assistant for 9 years before. You talked about 3 of them being at Henderson State. He was at Lyons College as well in Arkansas, and Friends University in Kansas.
3-2 is fouled out of play.
And spent 4 years in 2 different sessions there at Pratt Community College as well. So well prepared coming into this, and he definitely has made the most of it here.
Talked about it a lot yesterday, but Henderson State advanced to the College World Series last year in Cary, North Carolina, picked up a couple of wins out there. Their 2 losses were against the 2 teams that played in the national championship, Catawba and Tampa.
That's just another example of what you can do when you get there. If you prepare your team, you just make the most of something when you get that opportunity, and that's what Henderson State did.
Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball on the right side. Caleb Thomas has it. Runner will advance over to third. It's a 4-3 ground out for the second out of the inning, and Joseph Gary is now at third base. The team that Henderson State beat last year 2 times, Angelo State. I know they were upset yesterday in the Lone Star Conference, weren't they, Joey?
Matter of fact, they were a top seed in the Lone Star Conference, Cameron University, with a big win there. So, we'll see how that plays out. That's another team close to this region. That's in the South Central.
And Southeastern took 2 of 3 early on in the year against Angelo State. And that one launched out of play foul for strike 1 to Jared Gage.
The difference a year makes. But, we'll talk about this, I know, in the next game. It's what you do when you get the opportunity. And Arkansas Tech, as the 8th seed, is yet to lose in this GAC tournament.
That's right. The 0-1 hits Gage, and he's on base. Gage yesterday reached base 1 time.
And right there on the right elbow.
That'll put runners on the corners for Luke McGuire.
You don't want to get hit anywhere, but as you're tensing up that arm, that lead arm there, and get hit on it coming in, it can't feel good.
McGuire will take low for ball 1. So the inning started with the Tadarius Hawkins triple. School record in his career with 10. Ended up being thrown out, breaking towards home on a ground ball hit on the infield. Another ground out and a hit batter. Runners at the corners. A left fielder from Texarkana, Texas. At the plate, McGuire hitting .344 this season. Runner from first will go to second. They'll let him go. And the pitch was up high for a ball, 2-1. Now it's 2 runners in scoring position for the Reddies. 2-1 misses inside. 3 balls and a strike. Benedict, a freshman on the mound for the Savage Storm. Hard hit ground ball picked up by the second baseman Caleb Thomas to first in time, and that ends the inning. No runs on one hit with 2 left on base for Henderson State. After an inning and a half, no score between the Reddies and the Savage Storm.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
sc.edu.
Log on now
And seize your opportunity.
Correction there, Matt Benedict pitching for the Savage Storm, a senior, transfer from Carl State. We're in the bottom of the second inning, no score between the Savage Storm and the Henderson State Reddies. And it will be Corbin Taylor up first for Southeastern, then Greg Husnander and Brandon Grimsley, 4, 5, 6 in the batting order against Chris Hunt on the mound for his second inning of work now.
Taylor probably glad to be facing somebody pitching that's not wearing a Monticello uniform. Struggled against the Boll Weevils this season. That was indicative of the game yesterday, indicative actually of the season. 0 for 2 yesterday. He was 1 for 8 against Arkansas Monticello over the course of 4 games.
And Taylor going the opposite way to left field. It's caught by Luke McGuire. First out here in the bottom of the second.
Behind that one just a little bit and drifted. A little bit of the fade there, and McGuire easily makes the catch.
That'll bring up Greg Husnander, the catcher from Stuart, Florida. A transfer from that MIAA school, University of Central Oklahoma. That one fouled out of play for strike one. Well, there's head coach Mike Matheny, as we mentioned yesterday, 1,308 career wins. He's also vying for his 30th win of the season. Joey, he has done that 26 times as the head coach of Southeastern.
It's amazing.
He's in his 36th season as the head coach. Mentioned yesterday he's averaging about 36 wins a year.
Yeah, that's just an incredible number. I had a chance to visit with him about that after 1,300, and he downplayed it, as most coaches that have hit that kind of milestone will do. Many of them, well, you know, it's just a matter of being there long enough, and you just coach enough games, you're gonna win that many. That's not necessarily the case. You're not going to win 36 games a season just by putting the uniform on. Coach Matheny does a great job, but you know, it is a part of it. You have to have that kind of longevity to put that kind of number up.
He's had 4 50-win seasons. Put that in perspective. 10 40-win seasons. Unbelievable.
And a Division II national championship.
And right there is strike 3 looking to Greg Husnander. In 2000, it was a national championship. Matt Thomas telling me that his most wins in a season was 61. And I've just asked to find out if that was during the national championship year or not. I don't think it was. I think they were at 47 or so. Wow, he won 61 games in his first season in 1981. How about that? Beginner's luck, right?
Oh. Wow. Now that was back.
He proved that it was not beginner's luck.
Back in the NAIA days.
There's a sharp hit ball down the right field line that'll go foul.
It's interesting. I had a chance to visit with coach of Oklahoma City University baseball recently, Danny Craybaugh. And as I was concluding the opportunity to visit with him, just an interview, he said, be sure and tell all the folks in Durant that I said hi. I used to be down in Durant. He said, as a matter of fact, Coach Matheny, I know a lot about him. Coach Craybaugh said this. He said, I think I'm one of 3 people on the planet that actually saw his first and his last NAIA game coached. Now, of course, his wife, Pat, and daughter, Michelle, are the other 2.
Wow. That one swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Chris Hunt, although some of the Henderson players weren't quite sure that was the 3rd out, but it was. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on after 2 complete. No score here on the GAC Sports Network.
College is my time to find myself and start my future. That's why I chose SWASU. Going up.
15 nationally accredited academic programs and nearly 100 clubs, all for me.
Thanks to this state-of-the-art nursing lab, he'll be better in no time.
And our brand new Pioneer Cellular Event Center for sports, concerts, and cool events.
All for me!
Oh, it's for me,
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that means getting the degree I need for the life and career I want. And it also means being part of something more, a tradition since 1909 with successful graduates in business, industry, medicine, every walk of life. Here, I can be part of that tradition. A future, a legacy, and a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
It's the top of the 3rd inning. No score between Henderson State and Southeastern. Alex Morgan will be up first, followed by Hunter Mayall and Jordan Taylor. 9-1-2 in the batting order for the Reddies. Morgan, the second baseman from Little Rock, Arkansas. He's a transfer from Southern Arkansas. Takes a strike against Matt Benedict in his 3rd inning of work. Ground ball off the pitching mound, picked up by Hunter, over to first, and the shortstop goes to Corbin Taylor for the first out.
First baseman number 25, Hunter Mayall.
So Benedict has given up just the 1 hit. It was the leadoff triple to Darius Hawkins to start the 2nd, but was able to work his way out of that jam. Five ground ball outs and 1 fly ball out so far with a strikeout mixed in. Hunter Mayall is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out 6-3 his first time up.
Benedict out on the mound today. He's been out there for an inning and a third so far, Michael. That was just about as long as anyone was out on the mound yesterday for Southeastern. As Coach Matheny talked about that with him, you used 7 different pitchers yesterday, and you had mentioned it. You thought it was by design that he would be able to keep his pitchers fresh, and he said, yeah, that is the case.
Well, that's true, and that's what we tried to do after we got down 5 or 6 runs with Linky. We decided that we were going to have to put some offense together to get back in the game, and when we didn't get that started, then we just started using guys, not trying to kill them, and so that we can use them again if we get another chance.
And he does have the opportunity now, and Benedict was not part of that group that was used yesterday, so he probably had a good idea Benedict would be the starter for the game too.
Here's a line drive back through the middle, a base hit.
But you have to think about it, Michael. At this point, he's right. When you try to get the offense going, that didn't happen. Pitching wasn't happening, even though Linky did, record 4 strikeouts in that first inning and a third. Nothing's going right. If you're going to come out of this tournament, at that point, you're going to have to win 4 games. You have to win 2 today and then 2 more tomorrow coming out of the losers bracket. So you have to have some fresh arms. It's a wise decision, I think.
So is Benedict the Grand Marshal now at 2 1/3? I think into the 3rd inning here. Does he take over?
Yeah, he is now the Grand Marshal of the pitching parade for Southeastern.
I don't know if it carries over from day to day. Runner's going, and this one is flied to left. Jake Perez camping underneath it. Runner will backtrack. And there's the 2nd out of the inning as Mayall goes back to first.
Yeah, that honor was for Bryce Clemens yesterday. Pitched 1 2/3, and boy, Seemed like a long time.
By the way, that base hit for Hunter Mayall, he went 0 for 5 yesterday. 1 for 2 in this one now, so recording his first base hit here in Arkadelphia over the last 2 days. And Hayden Lessenberry at the plate with 2 outs, a runner on at first. 299 average for Lessenberry. First pitch swinging. Terwilliger has it at third, over to first. No runs, 1 hit with 1 left on, and we are heading to the bottom of the third. Still no score between Henderson State and Southeastern on the GAC Sports Network.
What's your lucky number? 7, 13. How about 3, 6, and $5.99? The $5.99 meal deal is here at Subway restaurants, and it's your lucky day. Pick from 3 different 6-inch subs with chips and a drink for just $5.99 at Subway restaurants. Think of the options: 3 different subs, your choice of chips, and your favorite 21-ounce drink. All for just $5.99. Make $5.99 your new favorite number with the $5.99 meal deal. Only at Subway.
Bottom 3 in the lineup coming to the plate for Southeastern. We are in the bottom of the third. There is no score between Henderson State and Southeastern. It'll be Connor Counts, Tim Hunter, and Jake Perez against Chris Hunt. He has shut them down in order so far through his 2 innings. 2 ground ball outs, 1 fly out, and he has struck out 3 so far. The Denison, Texas designated hitter, Connor Counts, will be up first. 286 average for the senior. First pitch swinging. Slow ground ball over to Alex Morgan at second. 4-3 put out, 1 up and 1 down in the bottom of the third. Counts didn't wait around.
No, he didn't wait around, and from the other side, Hunt is taking care of business. You mentioned that, and wow.
Counts was hitting in the 5th spot in the lineup yesterday, dropped down into the 7th spot for this game. Tim Hunter at the plate, the junior's hitting 248. Takes the first one for ball 1.
Now, Counts was actually replaced with midway through. Got Mike Wade, one of the starting pitchers, in yesterday for Counts midway through. Counts 0 for 2, Wade 0 for 2. So Counts hasn't really been able to find his rhythm here in the GAC tournament, at least in this final round.
Tim Hunter, the shortstop from Austin, Texas, transfer from Tyler Junior College. He had an RBI walk yesterday in the 6th inning. It was the only run for Southeastern. It scored Logan Terwilliger.
You know that your offense is struggling
yes.
when that's your lone run was an RBI walk.
He had struck out looking before and also had a ground out, so officially 0 for 2. He also was lifted for a pinch hitter late. Luke Thomas came in his place there in the 9th inning to get an at-bat.
Well, that really was the order of the day for Southeastern. I mean, there was nothing that you look at and think this is a normal ball game. 7 pitchers used, 21 players saw time in a game that didn't have the bottom half of the 9th inning.
There's the 2-2, and that misses inside. Our conference commissioner was getting ready to warm up in the bullpen, I think, yesterday, because that's because you were busy. I know you were going to be next in line, but so.
I'm wondering if my credits still apply.
I've talked to a compliance person about that.
Okay. We have a couple of those here on campus.
There you go. It's the 4th strikeout for Chris Hunt. And Tim Hunter was fooled on that pitch. He just was really late trying to make an effort at that one. Well, there you go. There's one of the compliance people right there. That's good camera work. Audra Tope. Audra Keaty now, of course.
Yes.
Been married for about a year. Maybe I could figure that out. Sharp hit ground ball. First baseman Hunter Mayall, look where he was playing. He was playing perfectly to get that one. Took it unassisted. And it's another 1-2-3 inning in the third. No score after 3 complete here at Clyde-Berry Field in Arkadelphia for the GAC baseball tournament.
What's your lucky number? 7, 13. How about 3, 6, and $5.99? The $5.99 meal deal is here at Subway restaurants, and it's your lucky day. Pick from 3 different 6-inch subs with chips and a drink for just $5.99 at Subway restaurants. Think of the options. 3 different subs, your choice of chips, and your favorite 21-ounce drink. All for just $5.99. Make $5.99 your new favorite number with the $5.99 meal deal. Only at Subway.
How to spot a boll weevil. Boll weevils can work in groups, are highly intelligent, and thrive in any environment. And more important, every boll weevil has a bright future awaiting wherever they go. And that's how you spot a boll weevil. How to spot a boll weevil. Boll weevils are a fascinating species. They're known to travel in packs, but every boll weevil is unique. And more important, every boll weevil has a bright future awaiting wherever they go. And that's how you spot a boll weevil.
We've hit the top of the 4th inning at Clyde-Berry Field on the campus of Henderson State University. No score between Southeastern and Henderson State. And to take you through the middle innings, here's Joey McWilliams.
Thank you, Michael. As Tadarius Hawkins is going to come back. Triple in his first at bat this afternoon, as it's a fun day here at Clyde-Berry Field. And Hawkins takes the first one for a strike. Didn't make it back in, as we mentioned earlier. Hawkins stranded on third base, as coming up right behind him, Joseph Gary. Little dribbler to third base, and Hawkins was caught in no man's land between third and home, caught in a rundown. So that's a big part of the reason that there's still no score right now, because that was just a big opportunity left on the field. Hawkins watches that one outside, count now 2-2.
Well, these teams are used to playing some close games against each other. Well, it may take only 1 or 2 runs.
And that one hit second base, fielded quickly by Thomas. Turnaround throw is in time. That's a nice job for Southeastern's Caleb Thomas. Quick turnaround, and now Gary back up to bat.
Great play.
Joseph Gary in his first at bat. I mentioned that little fielder's choice, the dribbler down to third base. He was able to reach first with the fielder's choice and trotted on over to second, too. Well, that one's going to be a hit. No fielder's choice there. Gary will reach first, and Rounds looked like he wanted to challenge the arm out there.
Now, the Hunter Mayall base hit last inning was the same one. Comebacker right past Benedict.
Going to bring up A.J. Cruzel. Ground out to Thomas in his first at bat in the second inning. Benedict looks over. And Gary's able to stay on the base just barely. I don't know. Taylor's protecting the house pretty closely. First pitch right to Taylor off his glove, and that's going to be enough to send Gary to second. Taylor with the throw to third to make sure Gary stays there. And the base hit for Cruzel. He's on first, Gary on second, and with just 1 down here for Henderson State in the top of the 4th inning, could be another opportunity to put a run on the board.
Obviously, Corbin Taylor would have wanted to catch that ball, but by being able to get a glove on it, I think that kept Gary from going to third base. There's a good chance it could have been runners on the corners with only 1 out, but he was at least able to hold up the runner from going an extra base. And who knows, Cruzel could have ended up at second.
That's true. Gage now batting for Henderson State. Garrett Gage at 192 and swings on the first pitch again. Back-to-back batters, and this one goes to right field as well. Gary's going to hold up at third. And wow. Boy, now you want to talk about polar opposites? The team that's coming up to play in the game after this, it is unlikely that you'll see two batters in the same inning swing on the first pitch with Monticello coming up. We saw back-to-back batters there, and both of them going to right field. By the way, that was something as Coach Matheny walks out now to the mound. He'll have a word or two for Matt Benedict. That was something he mentioned in the pregame, said they have a whole lot of left-handed batters. And they're going to swing and try to put that one out there in right field. So it could be one of those things that keeps Grimsley busy for Southeastern today.
Well, yeah, they found something against Matt Benedict here, going right after him. A lot of momentum with the Reddies right now.
Benedict for Southeastern may have actually the single dirtiest cap.
I know.
It's been through the most wear and tear of anyone in this tournament. And it's not dirty like it's just grimy. It just it has the feel. It's worn so much it's brown.
It's sun faded for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe Coach Matheny passed that one down the line to him somewhere. I wonder if McGuire will go after the first pitch.
Yeah, Luke McGuire now batting .344, back up, and McGuire grounded out to second in his first at bat. Doesn't swing on the first pitch, so that breaks a little bit of a trend. 3 hits so far here in the inning, just one down. And Benedict puts that one across the plate. High, likely not playable. It is not. Will hit the top of the third base dugout, where the Reddies have set up camp. And it's now 1-1. Luke McGuire. Talked about seniors in the lineup for Southeastern. McGuire, the 5th of 5 straight seniors in the Henderson State lineup. And 3 of them are on base right now, so McGuire would like to see if he can get one in. Takes that one for a ball, 2-1. Or more than one if it's possible. The way the Reddies have been hitting the ball here in the 4th inning. And that one on the inside, and it's going to ding him off the right leg. Hit by pitch, and that's going to bring in a runner. The RBI for McGuire.
That's a hard way to give up a run. Matt Benedict has given up more hits here in this 4th inning than he had given up in the first 3 innings. And then he kind of
it's a different kind of hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Instead of Henderson beating you for the run, he gives it up himself there.
Well, now down to the 9 hole for Henderson State. Bases loaded once again. Still 1 out for Alex Morgan. And Morgan watches that one paint the outside corner.
Third baseman Logan Terwilliger playing way in. He's anticipating the possibility of Morgan laying down a bunt.
And that one looked like it actually went over and possibly even behind Morgan's head.
Yeah, and he's disappointed that he ducked because it was an off-speed pitch, but I don't think it would have hit him had he stood up straight. It was way over his head.
Yes. Well, that's a tough way to get in a run. Still 1-1 the count now.
Nobody warming up right now in the Southeastern bullpen.
Swings at that one, fouls it back over the first base dugout. Southeastern had players warming up in the bullpen in the first inning yesterday. We're in the 4th inning now, and Coach Matheny still satisfied with what Benedict is able to do right now, but this is definitely a jam. And the 1-2 taken outside, 2-2.
The bullpen stayed warm yesterday, that's for sure, for Southeastern. Pretty good pitch there from Benedict. A better decision by Morgan not to chase after it.
And that one swung on high, might be playable, just past the glove of Taylor.
Had a chance at it, the brick wall, I think. started to make some loud noises at him.
By the way, there you see Caleb Thomas coming back in, the second baseman, and he may give Benedict's cap a bit of a challenge with his as Taylor goes for that one and had to slow up a little bit at the fence there, and I think that's what kept him from making that grab. 2-2 still the count, one down, bases loaded, and Morgan puts a bat on this one again. And another opportunity, and that one just past the run of Grimsley.
Well, that would have plated a run. I think the runner from third, Cruzel, could have easily scored had it been caught. Especially with the momentum of Grimsley carrying him all the way into the wall.
Exactly. He has a pretty good arm, but his momentum would not have facilitated a good throw back to home. Morgan working through this at bat too. He's keeping Benedict working hard. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Benedict is able to record the strikeout. Still a jam right now, but 2 outs, and Benedict able to help his cause right there with that strikeout. It brings us back to the top of the order, Hunter Mayall. Mayall 1 for 2 on the day. Single back in the third.
And it was a hard hit single as well. Back through the middle.
Talked about Mayall struggling a bit yesterday against the Arkansas Tech pitching. He gets a bat on this one, and this one's high. And Thomas comes in and makes the catch. But 1 run on the board, and so the Reddies here in the top of the fourth get that 1 run, 3 hits, and they leave 3 on base, and we go to the bottom of the fourth here in just a moment as Henderson State on top now by 1. You're watching the GAC Sports Network.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
There were a number of Henderson State players that are on this team this year that were a part of that run last year. As you see, the Reddies, national semifinalists, Central Region champions as well, and the banners proudly displayed here on the right field wall at Clyde Berry Field.
And when you have a new wall, you need decorations.
That's exactly right.
Looks good out there.
I was going to say, I can't think of a better decoration than that. Dylan Helms now. Top of the order for Southeastern as the Storm on offense not able to get anything going so far. No hits through the first 3 innings, and Helms back up. He grounded out to second base in his first at bat. That one may find a gap. It does not, however. Nice legs from Luke McGuire to record Dilm's second out of the day. First out here in the inning for Southeastern.
You know, I know Henderson got a run last inning, but there has to be a little bit of here we go again from Coach Hooten. In Game 2 of the regular season series, Henderson State left 15 runners on base. It was a 4-2 Southeastern win in 11 innings. They've left 6 runners on base in this one so far.
Now batting for Southeastern is Caleb Thomas.
A game that saw 25 hits, Joey.
Right.
And there were only 6 runs
there
scored
you go.
in 11 innings. That means Southeastern also left 15 runners on base in that game.
Hard swing at that one. That's a strike.
They would just take a base runner, like you said, at this point.
At this point, yes.
Even if they leave him on.
Which not too distant history would say is likely to happen.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2 to Thomas. Swings at that one and misses. And another one rung up for Chris Hunt.
Thomas did not lay off the high heat a couple of times in that at bat, and boy, Chris Hunt just blew it past him.
Henderson State coming in today does get the first run of the ball game. 1-0 now here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Henderson State on the year is 15-7 when scoring first. And batting for Southeastern, Logan Terwilliger. Terwilliger struck out back in the first inning to end that inning. Trying to keep from repeating that here in the fourth. We'll take that one for a ball, 1-1. That one a little low as well. Terwilliger patient now.
You talk a lot about getting hot at the right time, playing good down the stretch. Well, Chris Hunt's one of those guys that's been able to do just that. He started the year 0-6. He has since recorded 5 straight wins.
There are a couple of pitchers like that here in the tournament that have just been, they struggled in the early going, but managed to make something happen. By the way, Terwilliger, no stranger to getting a hit, even though today 1 strikeout. Foul that one back, 3-2 count now full with 2 outs here. Terwilliger actually had a 26-game hitting streak midway through the season from March 13th to the first day of this month here in May. Yet to record 1 today, though. And here's the payoff pitch, swung on high. And we'll go back over where some of the Southeastern fans are sitting. Nice shade behind the benches over here. Lots of the pine trees behind where the press box is and up the hill. Lots of fans bring their own chairs and sitting up there. Here's the 3-2 once again. And Terwilliger watches that one inside, takes his base. So there's the elusive base runner you were talking about, Michael.
14, Corbin Taylor.
Still no hits, though.
Right.
And Taylor, the senior, batting .323. As Coach Matheny will have a little discussion with him before he has his plate appearance.
Corbin Taylor put up some good numbers so far throughout the tournament. 5 hits and 13 at-bats. That includes the 3 games against East Central.
Still takes a little bit to get used to that after 4 years of having the 6-team tournament there in Enid and thinking about the games that took place a week ago, a part of this tournament as well. Still like the new format, though.
It's a year for change. The MIAA, a team in our central region, they switched their format up. They used to do it this way with the home series, best 2 out of 3, but now they've gone to an 8-team tournament, but with 2 4-team brackets. Of course, the central region will now have 8 teams in the regional as well.
And there's the throw to second. It's going to be behind, and moving on over to second base now, Terwilliger with the steal. And for Logan Terwilliger, that is his 11th stolen base this season on 16 attempts. He's now in scoring position with 2 outs. And Taylor's watched a couple of pitches. 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike. Nice lead for Terwilliger. That one fouled off. As we're here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Southeastern, for the first time, not 3 up, 3 down. Storm trying to manufacture a run right here. And Terwilliger had a good lead, but, you know, coming across there, Cruzel says, hey, listen, I might can get him.
Yeah, he was trying to find a way for Chris Hunt to still face the minimum through 4 innings. That is a big lead.
There's the 1-2. Taylor watches that one. Low and inside.
You never want to make that final out at third, though, so
right.
Don't think Terwilliger's going to try to steal.
Taylor has 24 RBI on the season. That one hit high and found by McGuire. It's not going to be 25 just yet. That does end any kind of threat for Southeastern. No runs, no hits, and 1 left on for the Storm. We'll head to the top of the 5th here in just a moment with GAC Sports Network.
We explore dozens of complex subjects, but sometimes the world sees college students as being the same, lumps us together. That's okay, because the world may underestimate what we can do as strong, responsible, highly trained, and confident Christian professionals. And isn't that what the world needs? Qualities taught one-on-one and valued by us all in a place of faith, learning, and living. Harding University.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Southeastern was able to get 1 runner on, but nothing came of it. And Henderson State, as we mentioned, put a run on, left 3 on base, though, in the 4th inning. 6 left on so far. And got to think for Coach Hooten and his squad, you don't want to see this again. As you mentioned earlier, there were 15 left on as that one hit solidly by Taylor, and it's going to make its way into right field. Grimsley will slow it down as it got past Thomas. Jordan Taylor reaches base safely. Gets that as a hit. And Hayden Lessenberry now. You see this one from Taylor. Just gets past Thomas off the tip of his glove. Quite an effort. Couldn't bring it in.
5 singles now in the last 3 innings against Matt Benedict, including 3 in a row back in the 4th inning.
And Lessenberry, whose hit streak now is up to 9, hasn't been able to pull one off in this contest. Flew out center field back in the 1st inning, and in the 3rd inning, grounded out to 3rd base. He has a hit streak that's up to 9. He also has a streak of reaching base that has doubled that, up to 18 straight games now that Lessenberry's been able to get on. And with a runner on now, he'd definitely like to continue that here in the 5th. 2-0 count, and Benedict looked back to first. It's going to keep Taylor there.
Lessenberry listed at 5'11", 215. We found out before the game he was a high school quarterback as well at Bryant.
Oh, you mentioned yesterday that baseball team at Bryant about 3 or 4 years ago was probably pretty solid. I'm guessing the football team was pretty solid,
Absolutely.
too.
They got some athletes.
We heard that they ran the option with Lessenberry at quarterback.
I wouldn't want to be the one trying to tackle him.
I'm telling you what. Swings at that one. It's hit solidly to left field, and it stays in 1 hop off the wall. And Taylor will slow up at 3rd. Lessenberry pulls up at 2nd. A double, and the Reddies now with runners in scoring position. Not much Perez could do for Southeastern. Just take it off the wall and try to get the ball back in. And the wind, by the way, shifted a little bit from where it was yesterday. And by the way, blowing a little bit out toward left. Didn't have enough to make that one carry over. And now Coach Matheny will come out and have a discussion with Benedict on the mound. Maybe more than a discussion.
Yeah, nobody warming in the bullpen right now for Southeastern. I would think somebody would start warming up pretty soon. Dangerous hitter in Hawkins. Of course, we already saw him with a big base hit early. I said early on, it may be 1 or 2 runs is all that's needed in a game like this, Joey. A hit here from Hawkins in a game like this would break it open.
Exactly. Now, there have been 2 hits so far here in the inning. And by the way, with Terwilliger's double, that puts his hit streak up to 10 now, and his streak of reaching base up to, for Lessenberry, up to 10, and reaching base up to 19 now.
You know, we mentioned Hawkins yesterday in a product of Commerce, Texas. You dropped in the line about Commerce kind of letting him, or they would like to have him. This guy Hawkins could play any sport, but Commerce doesn't have a baseball team, so he had to go find a great American Conference school, somebody else nearby who would take him.
And Hawkins now runners in scoring position. That one fouled back.
They need baseball, by the way.
It's tough for me to imagine a Division II school in Texas without a baseball team.
Exactly.
Now that, of course, I'm sure is a state mandate that D2 schools have football.
Right. In that state, yeah.
In Texas, yes. It's no funding for your school if you're not going to have a football team. We won't have that. Watches that one go through for a ball. 1-1 the count now to Hawkins. And Hawkins takes that one for a strike, leaning in just a little bit. Thought it might have been a little too far inside.
Look at where Tim Hunter is playing, and now he's going to backpedal, but he was way in. You don't often see the shortstop playing that far in.
All right, but after taking that second strike now. And that one taken for a ball, 2-2. So Taylor at third, Lessenberry at second. And the count 2-2 for Hawkins. Hawkins had that big triple back in the second inning. Swings at that one high and fouled to the left field. Into the pine trees, and that one may not come down.
I was watching the cars that were coming down the road to make sure they didn't get hit by that one.
Now the ready batters just continue to make Benedict work today. Just 1 run to score for it so far. That could change in a hurry. Here at the top of the 5th. Swing at that one for Hawkins. That one fouled also. Still 2-2.
Well, they say you play with fire, eventually you get burned. He has given up several base hits over the last couple innings, has been able to work himself out of some jams. And really, the only run, again, was on that hit batter. It wasn't like the Reddies were able to get a hit off of him for the run. They've had the hits leading up to it.
Fouls that one back. That's your standard RBI hit by pitch.
Right.
Just like you draw it up. Hawkins' career batting average, 285. And his average for the season is 286. So that's consistent. Here's the 2-2 once again. Hawkins takes that one high. That triple back in the second inning. Again, a career mark here at Henderson State. Number 10, his 4th on the season. And 3-2 taken. And there's another walk. So the bases loaded once again now for Benedict. And Joseph Gary comes to bat.
Yeah, that's not the end of the world there for Matt Benedict. He puts a runner on first base that was open, a hot-hitting Darius Hawkins, and so now you got the force-out situation. I think the infielders will come in, try to cut off a run at home.
No, I think you're exactly right, and better defensive opportunities here. If he can make Gary ground into a double play.
Yesterday we saw Southeastern bring the infield in, and Monticello was able to hit it right past them on the right side, so they're actually going to leave the second baseman and shortstop back and try to get a double play. They'll trade a run for 2 outs.
And the 1-0 swung on. Little dribbler to third. And actually, they say that was fouled off.
Yeah, it went off the leg of Gary.
Well, you talk about Southeastern struggling with that yesterday as they came in with the bases loaded. Henderson State also had issues with the bases loaded on the other side of the ball and nearly hit into a triple play.
Yeah. Had the catcher been able to hang on, it would have been.
1-1 now. And Gary watches that one for a strike.
A tough decision for a coach here because your team's not hitting the ball, being Southeastern. So, again, you get a double play or something like that, trade a run, find yourselves down 2-0, but I think you kind of have to do that at this point.
1-2, and Gary swings at that one, and that's going to bring in 1 run for sure. A single to the left, and Perez throws that all the way in. Husnander will stop, look back at third, and Southeastern now trailing 2-0.
Shortstop number 12, A.J. Krusel.
And now Southeastern is going to be sending someone to warm up as Taylor crosses the plate for the first time today.
How about Joseph Gary? Ended the game with a single. He's got 2 hits in this one.
Exactly, and actually, he reached a little earlier on that fielder's choice. He's been able to get on all 3 times he's come to the plate today. Now Krusel batting. And the bases loaded still, and still no outs.
Second consecutive inning that Henderson State's had 4 straight reach base.
Krusel 1 for 2 today. Had the single in the 4th. Puts that one high and into right center. Catch is made. Runners are going to tag. And the throw in a little bit higher than maybe it needed to be at second base. But Lessenberry will score. And Krusel will get the sacrifice fly, get the RBI there. Just the first out in the inning for Henderson State, and the lead has grown now to 3-0.
Yeah, I think they may have actually had a chance at a play there at second had the throw not been high.
I agree, and they were coming in to do that, and Helm's throw was pretty much in between shortstop and third. So for Krusel, it's his 30th RBI of the season, and that actually is going to put him in a tie for first place in the lead there for the Reddies. He's up there at the top with Jordan Taylor. As Henderson State has Jared Gage batting now. Gage was hit by pitch back in the 2nd inning and had a single in the 4th. Gage, the catcher from Lee Summit, Missouri. And the senior watches that one outside. 2-1 the count. 8 hits now for Henderson State. 3 of them coming in this inning.
And 3 last inning.
That one's inside. 3-1. There is a base for Gage to go. Benedict needs to put him there. But then that fills things up once again. And we'll give you word here in just a moment maybe on who's warming up for Southeastern. Swing and a miss right there. I believe it's Scott Richards. Michael, you may want to verify that if I'm seeing that right. Full count now. 1 down. And Gage swings at that one. And it's going to drop left center. That will bring in 1 run. And possibly 2. The 2nd run comes in. So for Jared Gage, he has 2 RBI on a single. And the Henderson lead now is expanded to 5. Gage with RBIs number 20 and 21 on the season. And another single.
Gage has had a day, hadn't he?
Yes.
Hit by a pitch. He's got 2 singles.
He has 3 RBI.
See it again, just perfectly placed into right center. That's Bryce Clemens warming up in the bullpen. What's interesting about Southeastern, they have a 21 and a 23 who are both left-handed pitchers. So Scott Richards, 21, Bryce Clemens, number 23. And it looks like it's going to be Clemens coming in.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break as Southeastern makes the pitching change, and we'll tell you about the new Storm pitcher when we come back. 5-0 the score. Henderson State on top here on the GAC Sports Network.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Well, the mound for Southeastern is going to be Bryce Clemens. Clemens, a junior from Bochita, Oklahoma. Pitched 23 and a third innings, and he was, at least as of yesterday, the grand marshal of the pitching parade. Had an inning and 2/3 yesterday to add to that total. He's given up 28 hits on the season, 15 runs, all of them earned. Walked 10 while striking out 18. He has not been the pitcher of record in a game this season, although he does have 1 save. ERA of 5.79. And he'll be facing first batter here for Henderson State is Luke McGuire, batting from the 9 hole, and McGuire swings at that first pitch, fouls it off. McGuire is 0 for 1 on the day. Hit by a pitch, grounded to second. Pretty soon, the number of players that haven't been hit by a pitch are going to be in the minority. Now that actually is something, and I'll verify that. Southeastern has hit more batters over the course of this season than any other team, as Clemens will throw back to first and going to make sure that he keeps Gage honest at first. Coming into this weekend, Southeastern pitchers had hit 85 batters, and a couple more today to add to that total. And I believe there were a couple yesterday too, is that correct?
That's right.
It should be close to 90 right now as McGuire swings at that one, fouls that back also. 2-2 the count. I need to check my numbers on that, but I think Southeastern batters have actually also led in the category of being hit by pitches, so it goes both ways. That one inside, taken for a strike, and McGuire will take a seat. Watch the third strike there. It was close, but that had some movement on it. Came back over, and McGuire now takes a seat, 2 down here in the 5th.
Oddly enough, Joey, the batter that Southeastern pitching hit yesterday was Guy Halbert in the 8 spot in the lineup. He was hit twice, and they also hit McGuire once in this game out of the 8 spot in the lineup.
Right. Halbert not in there. McGuire moving to that spot. You're right. So Alex Morgan now batting from the 9 hole, has a runner on. Solid lead, swings at that pitch. And watching it come down, catch is made at third base by Terwilliger. And that will end the inning. However, 4 runs for Henderson State, 4 hits, and a runner left on base in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom. Southeastern coming up and trailing by 5 here on the GAC Sports Network.
College is my time to find myself and start my future. That's why I chose SWASU. Going up.
15 nationally accredited academic programs and nearly 100 clubs, all for me.
Thanks to this state-of-the-art nursing lab, he'll be better in no time.
And our brand new Pioneer Cellular Event Center for sports, concerts, and cool events.
All for me!
Oh, it's for me.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that means getting the degree I need for the life and career I want. And it also means being part of something more, a tradition since 1909 with successful graduates in business, industry, medicine, every walk of life. Here, I can be part of that tradition. A future, a legacy, and a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
What's your lucky number? 7, 13. How about 3, 6, and $5.99? The $5.99 meal deal is here at Subway restaurants, and it's your lucky day. Pick from 3 different 6-inch subs with chips and a drink for just $5.99 at Subway restaurants. Think of the options: 3 different subs, your choice of chips, and your favorite 21-ounce drink. All for just $5.99. Make $5.99 your new favorite number with the $5.99 meal deal. Only at Subway.
Greg Husnander, the catcher, batting first for Southeastern here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be Husnander, Grimsley, and Counts on the way. The catcher, right fielder, and designated hitter 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. As Husnander watches that one. 1-1 the count now. Southeastern trailing once again. 4 runs given up there in the top of the inning. Need to get something back here to stay in this one. And Husnander swings at that one. It'll be fouled. Making chase, but it's not going to be far enough. Coming over Mayall, but he won't be able to bring that in. Both these teams, again, 29 and 24 on the season. Husnander struggled against Henderson State during the regular season. Went just 2 for 10 during the series. And that one, comebacker up the middle, fielded, and 4-3 put out. Alex Morgan makes the grab and the throw to first. So Husnander struggles against Henderson State continue now here in the 5th inning.
These 5 runs tie the most that Henderson State scored against Southeastern during the season. They won the 3rd game of the series by the score of 5-2, lost a game 4-2, and lost a game 2-1. Reddy's also averaging 5 runs a game this year.
Brandon Grimsley looks like going to lay down the bunt. That one goes foul. Grimsley won't be able to get that done. So 0-1 now. Grimsley batting .282. Has 40 RBI on the season. It's good enough for 2nd on the team behind Terwilliger. And Grimsley gets the bat on that one. Right back to Taylor for the grab. Excuse me, that's Mayall. A nice catch. 2 down.
Yeah, that one happened in a hurry. Just a line drive right at him, didn't even have to move.
Connor Counts now. The Storm with 2 down. Watches that one for a ball. Well, when you make it easy on the defense like that, they don't even have to move. You know that things are going well. Counts swings at that one high into right field and caught, ending the inning. Joseph Gary with the catch. No runs, no hits, and no one left on base. We go to the top of the 6th. Henderson State on top in this one and seemingly in control. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
Although he's playing in this game, not sitting in the
stands.
stands.
Not just sitting around. I mean, he's been active. He has a triple. Come on.
Yeah.
Top of the order now for Henderson State in the top of the 6th inning. And Clemens still on the mound for Southeastern. It's Hunter Mayall, Jordan Taylor, and Hayden Lessenberry to start things off for the Reddies. And Mayall takes that for a strike, 1-1. Mayall, I mentioned a little bit earlier, 0 for 5 yesterday. He's 1 for 3 today. He had reached base safely in 6 straight, and he's not going to with that one. Hey, turnabout's fair play.
That's right.
As he received a liner and didn't have to move for that one. He did just the very same thing, hit that one right back to Corbin Taylor at first, and he records the first out. Now 1 for 4 in the afternoon. He's struggled a little bit here on his home field.
Yeah, he has, even in the series against Southern Arkansas, and then mixed with the game yesterday against Arkansas Tech. Had just 2 hits in 10 at-bats before today.
And Jordan Taylor becomes the 3rd ready to be hit by a pitch. First one by Clemens, though, as Southeastern distributes the hit by pitches, or hits by pitch, as the case may be, among more than one pitcher.
And I think you said they had 85?
Well, it's up to at least 90
That's 90,
now.
yep.
And because there were 2 yesterday, correct?
That's right.
So
Same,
we're at
same
3
batter.
right now. So Southeastern has hit 90 batters in 54 games. Batting now for Henderson State is Hayden Lessenberry.
That was quick math on the GAC right there.
That's right. And Lessenberry, big swing at that one's going to go foul. Lessenberry now 10-game hitting streak. It is active as he reached base with a double a little bit earlier. That was in the 5th inning. And Lessenberry watches that one just over the outside corner. 1-2. Clemens looks at first and then strikes out Lessenberry. Took a little off that one. Lessenberry ahead of it, couldn't pull back. And now 2 down, bringing up Hawkins. 2 down and a runner on. Hawkins on the day, 1 for 2. He walked back in the 5th inning, had the triple in the 2nd inning. By the way, Hawkins, after the walk, was able to get a run scored. You know, he made it on the triple, but he caught in a run down, so he didn't cross home plate then. Had to wait 3 more innings, walks to get on base, and found his way in.
Brady Colbert is warming up in the bullpen for Southeastern, the senior pitcher from Eufaula, Oklahoma. That's somebody that Coach Matheny said they would wait as long as they could before needing to go to him.
I think they're at that point.
Yep.
And Hawkins will trot to first once again. Back-to-back walks for the senior.
Right fielder number 21, Joseph Gary.
Coach Matheny was looking down the line, and they're passing along information to Colbert to see if he's ready yet. He's actually asking for an indication from the bullpen. Now, there are 2 outs, but you have to look at this and say that Clemens has hit a batter and walked a batter, and they've got another opportunity to produce some runs, do the Reddies.
Exactly. Gary had an RBI in the previous inning, had a single, the RBI. Back-to-back singles. He's reached base all 3 times that he's come to the plate this afternoon. Gary batting .254. That number will increase at the end of today. Swing and a miss there, though. 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 strikes, 2 on. And the Reddies' lead is now 5. And swing there for Gary. It's high to left field, and Perez goes back and makes the catch. So the Henderson State threat has come to an end. No hits, and no runs came across. 2 men left on base for the Reddies. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Storm on the way, trailing by 5 here on the GAC Sports Network.
We explore dozens of complex subjects, but sometimes the world sees college students as being the same, lumps us together. That's okay, because the world may underestimate what we can do as strong, responsible, highly trained, and confident Christian professionals. And isn't that what the world needs? Qualities taught one-on-one and valued by us all in a place of faith, learning, and living. Harding University.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Well, Southeastern needs to get something going. It is likely, possible and even likely that there will be a new pitcher for the Storm to start the 7th inning. However, bottom of the 6th right now, and this is the opportunity for Southeastern to get some runs on the board. And as you saw the scoreboard there just a moment ago, zeros across the board where it says Reddies. Don't be fooled. That's not the Reddies score. The Reddies are the visitors on the scoreboard today. And so the top line that actually has numbers, integers, let's just put it like that. That's using integers. There's your quick math.
It has
on the
light
GAC.
bulbs.
Light bulbs that aren't showing zeros. That's the one that's Henderson State's numbers, integers.
I like that.
Zero's a number.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not an integer. And we learned something today on GAC Sports Network. Southeastern still zeros across the board. It's Tim Hunter at the plate right now. Hunter struck out back in the 3rd inning. And it's going to be Hunter, Perez, and Helms for Southeastern here in the bottom of the 6th. Watches that one for a ball, 1-1 now.
Joey, that's the 61st pitch of the game, and 43 strikes so far for Chris Hunt.
It's impressive.
Yep.
Better than 2-to-1 ratio there as Hunter fouls that one back.
Well, a lot of guys, as you get into the 6th inning, are at, sometimes 80, 90 pitches at this point.
So he's been effective.
Absolutely.
Hunter swings at that one, fielded quickly, and the throw to first is in time and good. Morgan with another put out, and that'll bring up Jake Perez. Perez batting in the 9th spot here, and he started the season for Southeastern, and we talked about Perez, 6'4". Coach Matheny says he has the skills, but he just he was struggling hitting, and by the midpoint in the season, his batting average was actually .037.
Yikes.
And around the first part of April, he was actually taken out of the lineup. Now, 8 games ago, there became an opening in the lineup, and they put Perez back in as he swings at that one, and it one goes foul, 0-2 the count. They put Perez back in the lineup, and over the last 8 games, coming into today, he's made the most of it. He's made some adjustments batting. He's now 10 for 24 hitting in the last 8 games. Now, that's how you make adjustments.
Absolutely.
That's how you make changes, and Coach Matheny said he's made the most now of his time since he's been back in. Swings and misses there, though. He'll strike out swinging on 3 consecutive pitches, And 2 down now for the Storm.
Center fielder number 10, Dylan Holmes.
That's the 6th strikeout for Chris Hunt.
Brings Helms back up. Helms on the day, 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out, and this one high. And Morgan going to call off Taylor and make the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Southeastern as we go to the 7th inning. Henderson State up 5-0 here on the GAC Sports Network.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
There was a future ready chasing down the ball over there on the stands as Henderson showing how it's done here in the GAC tournament, up 5-0. And here in the top of the 7th, we give it to Michael Westbrook for the call.
A.J. Cruzel is up first for the Reddies, followed by Jared Gage and Luke McGuire. 6, 7, 8 in the batting order against Bryce Clemens. 5-0, Henderson State with the lead. They have 5 runs on 9 hits. Cruzel had a sac fly RBI his last time up, and on the second pitch of this at-bat, grounds it to Caleb Thomas. Second baseman over to first to Corbin Taylor for the out. 1 up and 1 down. Chris Hunt has gone 6 innings, no runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 6. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Matt Benedict started the game, went 4 1/3, gave up 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Clemens has now been in the game for 2 innings. And on the first pitch, Jared Gage swings away in time over at first. 3 pitches and 2 outs so far here in the top of the 7th. Time is flying by.
Well, that's how you keep your pitcher out there, is just swing at those first 1 or 2 and get it done. I mean, if Clemens can get this for another batter, wow. That's not going to do it there.
See, if I'm Chris Hunt, I'm saying, hey, give me another minute or 2 to rest. How about this? Home plate umpire saying that Luke McGuire made no effort to get out of the way. That's Daniel Rios behind the plate. McGuire was hit by the pitch, but he definitely stood in there and didn't make an effort to get out of the way. Coach Hooten at third is having a conversation with one of the umpires, and Coach Hooten gave the thumbs up, so satisfied with that conversation, I guess. McGuire will take a strike, 1-1. The pitch counts as a ball. And McGuire's already been hit by a pitch once. He got an RBI out of the deal, in fact. That was in the 4th inning. Struck out looking his last time up, though. And he's 0 for 2 so far.
It is. It's a painful way to get an RBI. I'm sure he doesn't mind.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. And that inning is a 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Clemens. We've hit the 7th inning stretch. Join us in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be joined by Athletic Director Sean Jones as the Reddies hold a 5-0 lead here on the GAC Sports Network.
College is my time to find myself and start my future. That's why I chose SWASU. Going up.
15 nationally accredited academic programs and nearly 100 clubs, all for me.
to this state-of-the-art nursing lab, he'll be better in no time.
And our brand new Pioneer Cellular Event Center for sports, concerts, and cool events.
All for me!
Oh, it's for me, it's for me.
The focus is you.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that means getting the degree I need for the life and career I want. And it also means being part of something more, a tradition since 1909 with successful graduates in business, industry, medicine, every walk of life. Here, I can be part of that tradition. A future, a legacy, and a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
Berry Field on the campus of Henderson State University. We're in Arkadelphia, Arkansas for the 2016 GAC baseball tournament. Michael Westbrook now joined by Athletic Director at Henderson State, Sean Jones. And Sean, as I take over, we had a 6-pitch half inning and another 6-pitch half inning. Joey had some longer innings to deal with there, but appreciate you coming on with us.
Michael, always great to be on with you, and had the chance to watch the production, the job that you and Joey do throughout the last couple days. And as usual, I would put your all's broadcasts up there with anybody, certainly at this level and just about anywhere. And I've had a lot of people, actually my mother, Michael, who listened to me announce for many years, say, those announcers are really good. And when the mom of an ex-announcer says those announcers are really good, that's about as good a compliment as I could give you.
Boy, that really is a compliment. Thank you so much for that, Sean. Caleb Thomas flies out here in the 7th for the first out. So it's Thomas, Terwilliger, and Taylor, 2, 3, 4 in the batting order for the Savage Storm. It's a 5-0 Reddy's lead in an elimination game. And Sean, I'll give you an opportunity to start first talking about the baseball field, but obviously several other renovation and big projects taking place here in Arkadelphia. What does this field mean to Henderson State now? Well, they may not give you much time to talk about it. Go ahead.
And that's okay with me, to be honest. You know, it's changed the culture, the perception of our program. Just tremendous support that I've been afforded from Dr. Glenn Jones, our president, Bobby Jones, our entire administration, to help us get where we want to get and allow us to have some first-class facilities. And as you know, Michael, you've got to have support from the top. And we've got a lot of great presidents in this league, and I'm very fortunate to have one of those who's allowed us to do some great things for our department because they understand the importance of intercollegiate athletics, what it brings to our campuses. One thing a lot of people don't understand, us, for example, we've got 350 kids, around 100 scholarships, a GPA around 3.0, and as that ball slices foul down the left field line to take the count to 0-2, you want me to jump into that?
Hey, sure, go ahead. Yeah, a fan's going to take that one home, a Ready fan. So
I'm going to stop talking and let you reset the scene here.
All right,
I know you got to work.
Oh, yeah, we're in the bottom of the 7th, 5-0, Henderson State with the lead. It's an 0-2 count with 2 outs to Corbin Taylor. And we'll see if we get another opportunity to ask you another question. We're going to keep you on for another half inning, though, if you'll let us anyway. So
that sounds good.
That one outside for a ball. What all have y'all done here, Sean?
We've done the renovations to the baseball facility, the turf, the lights, the wall, the parking lot, football practice facility as that ball is yanked foul down the right field line.
Well, Taylor's getting a piece of a few pitches here from Chris Hunt, who's had an effective performance, came into the inning just 66 pitches here in the 7th.
Did the same thing at softball, turf and lights and parking lot, and a really nice wrought iron fence, brick pillars and ticket booths around football, practice facility for football with lights and turf.
That one swung on and missed, and that is another 1-2-3 inning for Chris Hunt and the Reddies. 5-0, Henderson State with the lead. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll visit with Sean Jones a little bit longer, the athletic director of Henderson State, here on the GAC Sports Network.
What's your lucky number? 7, 13. How about 3, 6, and $5.99? The $5.99 meal deal is here at Subway restaurants, and it's your lucky day. Pick from 3 different 6-inch subs with chips and a drink for just $5.99 at Subway restaurants. Think of the options: 3 different subs, your choice of chips, and your favorite 21-ounce drink. All for just $5.99. Make $5.99 your new favorite number with the $5.99 meal deal. Only at Subway.
How to spot a bull weevil. Bull weevils can work in groups, are highly intelligent, and thrive in any environment. And more important, every bull weevil has a bright future awaiting wherever they go. And that's how you spot a bull weevil.
A new pitcher takes over for Southeastern. The Reddy's players excited about that, I guess. Got the dancing going here. Is this softball or baseball?
Oh, there you go. Those three are a trip anyway, and we've got some great pictures of them running down the left field line to warm up between innings. And you got to love baseball players, Michael. You know, I've talked to some of the coaches, and we were able to get enough rooms out at the lodge at Lake DeGray, great Arkansas State Park, and really a neat, piece for the kids, I think, because when I started talking to the coaches, and only in baseball, as you know, they talked about how the kids are enjoying fishing at night. Now, can you imagine a basketball coach, let's be honest, saying, yeah, if you guys want to go out and fish for a few hours tonight, go ahead, let me know what you catch. But the baseball coaches will. And I think that's been certainly a unique piece to have in this event in Arkadelphia.
I was going to ask you if you were headed to the lake.
I wish.
Got the fishing shirt on.
I do. You know, we had commencement this morning. I don't have to tell you because we had about 8,000 people at the event, and Ouachita had their commencement across the street, so Arkadelphia's population probably quadrupled this morning. And so after standing outside for about 5 hours this morning in a suit, I went home and put on the most comfortable yet collared shirt I had.
Well, good for you. You deserve it. Yeah. We're in the 8th inning here, and Henderson State again playing as the visiting team in this one. They are up 5-0. They've scored 5 runs on 9 hits. And they have Alex Morgan, Hunter Mayall, and Jordan Taylor, 9-1-2 in the batting order. And again, working against a new pitcher. First pitch swinging for Alex Morgan. Laces one into right center for a base hit. This is Brady Colbert. He's going to go for 2. Wow. It'll be a double for Alex Morgan. He never stopped at first. That's what I get for looking down.
Great hustle. I happen to have my head up just because I don't have to keep a score as you do. As you see here on the replay, we call him Amo, just a great young man, and maybe a little bit of a slow reaction. You see it right there, and boom, I'll just take second. That was great hustle by Alex.
Colbert with a 4.37 ERA in 70 innings this year has struck out 78, walked 24. Opponents with a 246 average against him. Hunter Mayall at the plate. One other facility, Sean, is you've had a former alumni who's a professional golfer, Ken Duke, who has been able to help out the Reddy's program.
We're about to open it. We're just waiting on the furniture, the Ken Duke Golf Facility. It's been about, I think, a decade in the making, and Ken, of course, on the PGA Tour from Hope and Arkadelphia, played here at Henderson, was an All-American, and has given a lot of time and resources to that. He's had some teammates step up, and so we've got a facility with the TrackMan system where you hit. You've got the simulator. You've got the indoor putting and chipping green, the Hall of Fame room, the coaches' offices, the classroom, all those different things. And we're very excited to open that. And we're going to have the grand opening with Ken in the fall around a football game.
1-1 is caught on a line by Tim Hunter, and he'll have a double play. That eliminates Alex Morgan, who had a big lead off of second base. Well, Hunter Mayall is putting some good contact on the ball, that's for sure. He had a hard line out back in the 6th inning, and now a hard line out this time as well. So the base is clear. 2 down, top of the 8th. Henderson on top 5-0. And Jordan Taylor, the third baseman from Bryan, Arkansas, coming to the plate. Sean, what was it like last year as Henderson State made their run through the regional, went 4-0, took on St. Cloud a couple of times and able to take them down? What was that experience like going to the College World Series?
You know, for me, Michael, easily I can tell you after over 20 years in this business, the most rewarding experience of my career. Team that was picked I think 9th or 10th, Troy could tell us, but in the league, picked 9th in the league, and, to end up doing enough to get in a regional, playing the #1 team in the nation on their home field, you beat them. The next game, you've got to play the national runners-up from the year before, and the leading hitting team in the country, you beat them. Emporia State, who's there every year, you beat them, and then you got to play St. Cloud again at home, you beat them. Just in thrilling fashion, and then go to Cary and finish 4th in the nation. And what it showed me is, teams and coaches recruit great kids. We got a lot of great kids in this league, great student athletes, as Taylor rips one to right for a base hit on one hop. And, chemistry, though, and togetherness and belief and being hot at the right time, all those things, that's what happened with that group. The sum was far greater than the parts, and it was just neat to see, and neat to see those kids have some success who candidly had not in a long time in this program, and I was happy for them and Cody, and certainly, added the excitement to be able to do what we've done with the facility and all those things.
Hayden Lessenberry at the plate, and he'll swing away for strike one. So runner on at first now. Taylor with 2 down. Hey, if they'll still pay me the same, there's 3 games today. I'll let you take over, and you've done this before,
You know what, Michael? I enjoyed announcing for a long time, but you do a great job. I also enjoy being a retired announcer.
There you go. All right. Well, you talk about recruiting. These top 3 in the lineup, all from Bryant, Arkansas. Didn't have to go too far down the road to find some talented athletes. And, of course, these are 3 that have been around the program for a while as well.
Have. And those kids came in here knowing how to win. That's a great program there at Bryant. And these are multi-sport athletes who are great football players, for example, and baseball players. Hayden was the quarterback at Bryant, and Coach Max actually was looking at him as a quarterback here at Henderson, and ended up just focusing on baseball. But a lot of great athletes. I'm telling you, a lot of great athletes in this league. I was in the MIAA for a long time, and the MIAA rightfully gets a lot of credit for being an outstanding league. But there's one thing I believe, Michael, with all my heart. You look at baseball and softball, top to bottom, the GAC is the best conference in our region, top to bottom. Now,
sure.
A given year, there's one last to left.
Yeah, that one might score a run here. I don't know. Taylor's going to round second. He'll hold up at third, and it is a 2-out double for Hayden Lessenberry.
Now, I love JT to death, and he can stroke it, he can throw it, he can play defense, he can pitch it, but he's not real fleet of foot.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Neither is Les at second base. I'm not going to lie to you.
Lessenberry sure wasn't going to third.
Now, this guy at the plate can run.
Yeah.
If he hits a gap, Hayden's going to have to run real fast just to make sure that we don't lap less.
It's actually the second double in the inning. Alex Morgan started the inning with a double, was eliminated on a line-out double play, then a single and a double with 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position for Henderson. Top of the 8th, they lead 5-0, and here's Tadarius Hawkins. Again, had a triple to set the career mark with 10 in that second inning. He has walked his last 2 times up. Hard hit ground ball 0-2. So, Sean, you mentioned you were in the MIAA. Your perspective, what was it when the Great American Conference was formed? And, of course, you're here now, so I know you like it, but tell us about an outsider's perspective when a new conference was created.
Disrespected schools from 2 great leagues that deserve to be respected.
Okay.
That's the best way I can say it in one sentence. I think you know what I mean.
Sure.
I think you got great schools in Oklahoma and Arkansas who deserve to be first-class schools, and I think that's what the GAC has provided them.
Well, I think we've talked a lot about the improvement, the progress, obviously going from the first couple of years where there were no automatic bids thrown out. Teams have proven that they can win, and we're seeing that now. I mean, this is going to be a great year again in Denver with several schools represented up there here this next week. Softball, men's and women's golf, and tennis, and all sorts of other things taking place there.
Well, I mean, I just think all you've got to do, Michael, is look at the league. And, Southern Arkansas softball going to the World Series, legitimate chance to win a national championship. Different teams making regionals each year.
Hawkins down the line. That'll go foul.
When I talk about top to bottom, Henderson last year, region champs, 4th in the country. We know we have to win this tournament and long road through to get in, but Monticello's right there, and Southwestern Oak may be in there. The winner of this tournament, look at the super regional in softball. It was Tech and SAU for the championship to go. I just think the balance top to bottom is very, very good in this league. I think it prepares you for the postseason.
Count now full to Hawkins. First base is open with 2 outs, and it creates some storylines, that's for sure, because you never know who's going to win.
That's very true, and that's very true. I mean, and I can't tell you that's the same in the MIAA.
Right.
Central Missouri's going to win in baseball. Emporia State's going to win in baseball. And you don't know about anybody else. And certainly,
payoff pitch to Hawkins, fouled out of play.
There are some great programs in the league. Southern Arkansas in baseball has been the dominant program in the league. But, take a look at softball. SAU's had some great years. We had a great year last year. Tech's had a great year. Southeastern Oklahoma has been to the national championship game. There's just a lot of really good teams, top to bottom, in this league year in and year out, which I really enjoy watching.
That one back through the middle. Hawkins has his second base hit of the game as Taylor scores. Lessenberry coming home as well. 2 more runs cross the plate for Henderson State here in the 8th. And they now lead by the score of 7-0. Look at this comebacker right past the pitcher.
That's just good hitting right up the box. And, you know, I was teasing, you know, Les is a little bit faster than he gets credit for because he's a big guy. A very good athlete. So is JT. But good piece of hitting there by Tadarius Hawkins.
The Reddies 8-1 this season when scoring at least 7 runs. Their lone loss was a non-conference game on April the 26th against Southern Arkansas. So Hawkins plates 2. And now it brings up Joseph Gary, still 2 down, runner on at first. Gary 2 for 4 today. Swings through that one for strike 1.
You know, I think as a league too, Michael, you talk about other sports. You know, I think it was a breakthrough this year for our football program to win a playoff game and get to the final 16. You know, a lot of it's about matchups. We got a good matchup and took advantage of that. I think I'm just being candid. We've got work to do in basketball to catch up with the other 2 conferences in our region. And really what I'm telling you is the other 2 conferences in our region are probably the best in the country with the exception of the GLVC, which is an excellent, excellent conference. But we've got some work to do there. Golf is solid. I can keep going, but I think the league's come a long way fast.
High fly ball to left. Perez is in front of the track. He's there to make the catch, and it ends the inning. Henderson State scores 2 more runs. The athletic director of Henderson State University, Sean Jones, thank you for your time. Thanks for being on with us.
Well, Michael, appreciate having you guys in Arkadelphia for this event, and looking forward to a great 2 days and some more baseball today.
All right, Henderson State leads 7-0 into the bottom of the 8th here on the GAC Sports Network.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Chris Hunt goes back to work in the 8th inning. His team with a 7-0 lead on Southeastern. And the Reddies will face Greg Husnander, Brandon Grimsley, and Connor Counts in the inning. 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. And on 2 pitches, we have a pop-up in the infield. Hunter Mayall calling everybody off. He's there to make the catch. Pitches number 76 and 77 for Chris Hunt as he is cruising along in this one.
And the struggles for Husnander against Henderson State just continue. Now 2 for 13 against the Reddies this year.
That brings up the right fielder, Brandon Grimsley. Coming to the plate for the 3rd time in this game. Had a line out to the first baseman his first time up. Fouls that one out of play for strike 1. And he struck out back in the 2nd inning. Henderson scored a run in the 4th. They added a 4 spot in the 5th, and they added 2 in the top of the 8th. That one misses off the plate. 1-1 count.
Really enjoyed listening to Sean Jones and all the progress, all that's happening here, not only at Henderson State, but his comments about the league as a whole. Just the insider perspective there and what he's seen, not only within the league, but also within another league.
Here's the 2-1, ground ball picked up by Jordan Taylor at third, over to first for the out. Failed to mention that they had the shift on there. A.J. Cruzel, the shortstop, was playing on the right side of second base. And so Grimsley tried to poke one through, but couldn't do so. Yeah, we appreciate Sean being on with us, and he's done some fantastic things here at Henderson State. He was the assistant athletic director at Central Missouri for a long time. Also their radio announcer, if you couldn't tell. He did a good job, the 2 at-bats that he had there.
Oh, yeah.
Calling the action.
Listen, they're definitely an old pro. I don't mean old.
Right.
Just an experienced pro, just in case you're listening.
0-1 to Connor Counts. He's 0 for 2 today. Fouls that one out of play, and it is quickly 0-2 for Chris Hunt. Counts grounded out in the third and flew out in the 5th inning. 7 runs on 13 hits now for the Reddies. Southeastern managed just 1 run yesterday against Monticello in an 8-1 loss. That one misses outside. 1-2. Able to stay alive that time as Connor Counts. This is a much different field than the 3 regular season games. The first one went to 10 innings. Southeastern won 2-1. Those were played early on in the year, March 4th and 5th. Southeastern won in 11 innings, 4-2, and Henderson State won 5-2 in Game 3. Hunt is ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Skied high to right. Gary is going over. He's going to run out of room. That one reaches out of play.
Near the GAC production truck. But just when you think you have that thing parked in a place that nobody's going to get to it.
One of several red vehicles for the GAC production crew.
Well, that's hey, listen, we talk about the conference growing. We'll talk about the GAC Sports Network when we come back.
It's the 8th strikeout of the game for Chris Hunt, a new career high for him. It's another 1-2-3 inning. He's faced just one more than the minimum. 7-0, Henderson State with the lead.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now.
And seize your opportunity.
It's the top of the 9th inning at Clydeberry Field on the campus of Henderson State University. A.J. Cruzel will be up first for the Reddies, followed by Jared Gage and Luke McGuire. 6, 7, 8 in the batting order. Henderson State holding a 7-0 lead on Southeastern in an elimination game here in the 2016 Baseball Conference Tournament. Cruzel 1 for 3 on the day, and will swing away at the first pitch. Could be trouble for the second baseman. Thomas comes up with it, and at first, the runner is out. Corbin Taylor just able to get his foot on the bag before Cruzel came flying down the line. It's a 4-3 ground out, 1 up and 1 down in the top of the 9th. Brings Jared Gage to the plate, the catcher from Lee's Summit, Missouri. Gage has been on base 3 times. He was hit by a pitch in the second, singled in the fourth, had a 2 RBI single in the fifth. Last time up, it was a ground out to the shortstop. First pitch swinging. This is a high fly ball to right. Grimsley watches it over his head. It is gone. A solo home run from Jared Gage makes it 8-0 Henderson State.
Wow. You said it earlier, Michael. Gage is having a day. And most definitely the case. 3 for 4, 3 RBI. And that one, nice little round tripper.
Leaves the yard for the 3rd time this season. Eight to nothing, Henderson State. A new shortstop has entered the game this half inning for Southeastern. Luke Thomas now takes over at that position. Luke McGuire at the plate. This time he will be issued first base. Hit by the pitch.
He was not satisfied. He was hit by the pitch at his last at bat, and he didn't get to take his free trip to first base, so he'll get it this time.
And it's the 2nd time he has been hit and reached base in this game in the 4th inning. Henderson State going up there swinging away, that's for sure. Alex Morgan pops it up to Caleb Thomas, the second baseman.
Well, you know, if they're confident right now here in the top of the 9th inning, they should be.
Yes.
Henderson State this season, when leading after 7 innings, 14-0. When leading after 8 innings, 17-0. They have no experience losing a ball game at this point.
There are 2 outs, runner on at first. Hunter Mayall at the plate. And he will take a pitch. A rare sighting the last couple of innings here from Henderson. Mayall did line out into a double play back in the 8th inning, and also had a line out in the 6th. Toss over to check on the runner McGuire at first.
Well, we say that, but you know what? This really has been a big part of what Coach Hooten wanted to do today. I think the 5th inning, I'm not going to say it's an aberration, but it is a little bit different than even the plan. I mean, one of the big things for Coach Hooten, he said they just need to scrap out some runs, and they really have done that, just getting 1 or 2 here or there. The 5th inning was just a big inning, and things just seemed to unravel for Southeastern at that point. But as a whole, that's what they want to do, and you know, if they're able to hold on to this 8-run advantage here in the 9th, and one would imagine that they would, that's the game plan again going into the late game this evening.
Here comes the 2-1 to Hunter Mayall. That one misses low for a ball, 3-1. Well, these 2 games for Southeastern have been eerily similar. They gave up 8 runs on 15 hits to Monticello. They've given up 8 runs on 14 hits to the Reddies. Monticello also had a 4-run, 4-hit inning. That was in the 2nd inning of their contest. And Henderson State had a 4-run, 4-hit 5th inning. Hunter Mayall reaches base for the 2nd time in this game. It's his 39th walk of the season, and Troy Mitchell telling me his 100th career walk. That'll help your on-base percentage. Brings Jordan Taylor to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Solo home run in the inning from Jared Gage. As that one is outside for a ball. Jordan Taylor has been on base each of his last 3 times up. Single and a run scored in the 8th. He was hit by a batter in the 6th. Or hit by a pitch, I should say. That would be really weird to be hit by the batter. And he singled and scored a run in the 5th. And a hard hit ball to right. That will fall in for a base hit. Henderson State is going to send the runner McGuire, and he is in, making it 9-0. The Reddies with the lead.
Wow. By the way, Michael, that's when you call the police. That's assault.
Yes, okay.
You're hit by the batter. So I'll tell you what, for Coach Matheny's squad, there are so many players that are coming back next year, and you know, still the bottom of the 9th inning, but some of this bears mentioned right, or top of the 9th inning, excuse me, some of this bears mentioned right now. This is a Southeastern squad that struggling to get through this inning, or the top half of this inning. Upperclassmen, that's really all there are. There are no sophomores on this roster, and just 2 freshmen and a redshirt freshman.
First pitch swinging for Hayden Lessenberry. He has 2 doubles in the contest, 2 runs scored. Strike 1.
It's all seniors and juniors, 10 seniors as a matter of fact, and all of them have played integral parts of the last 2 games, today and yesterday, for Southeastern, all of the 10 seniors.
0-1 to Lessenberry. That one swung on and missed, and it's 0-2.
You know, sometimes it's interesting to think about a gap in a class that you may not have that many of sophomores or that many seniors, but to have so many seniors and juniors and no sophomores.
Here comes the 0-2 to Lessenberry. That one misses way outside. 1-2 the count.
And let me take this a step farther, okay? There are a number of schools that have a significant number of transfers.
Sure.
So you might think of there being a number of transfers that have come in junior college. We talked about that with Monticello. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, a little bit more in the next game. That is simply not the case with Southeastern. There are, or I see, 1 transfer on the list. So this is a very organic group. 2 transfers, okay, a few that are on the list that are coming through here, very organically brought in. And I'm wrong about that number, by the way.
a little bit, yeah.
But
here comes the 1-2. Ground ball on the infield for Thomas. Uh-oh, doesn't have a play at second. Safe at first, and another run scores. Well, Luke Thomas, who just came into the game, was looking for the short route, but Caleb Thomas was not there. And so Hunter Mayall scores. Fielder's choice for Lessenberry or base hit? Base hit for Lessenberry. He never even made a throw, so just an infield base hit. And it's runners at first and second for Henderson State. They now lead 10-0. And Tadarius Hawkins is back at the plate. Hawkins had a 2 RBI single in the 8th. He's also walked twice, and he's had a triple in the game. He's 2 for 3. One time he was out was a ground out in the 4th inning. 1-0 is skied high to the outfield. Dylan Helms moving over to his left. He is there to make the catch. And the inning comes to an end, but Henderson State scores 3 runs, and they lead 10-0 into the bottom of the 9th on the GAC Sports Network.
College is my time to find myself and start my future. That's why I chose SWASU. Going up.
15 nationally accredited academic programs and nearly 100 clubs, all for me.
Thanks to this state-of-the-art nursing lab, he'll be better in no time.
And our brand new Pioneer Cellular Event Center for sports, concerts, and cool events.
All for me!
Oh, it's for me, it's for me.
The focus is you.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that means getting the degree I need for the life and career I want. And it also means being part of something more, a tradition since 1909 with successful graduates in business, industry, medicine, every walk of life. Here, I can be part of that tradition. A future, a legacy, and a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
We're in the bottom of the 9th inning where Henderson State holds a 10-0 lead on Southeastern. It's 10 runs on 16 hits for the Reddies and all zeros across the board for the Savage Storm. 8-9-1 in the batting order. Tim Hunter, Jake Perez, and Dylan Helms. Hunter was the shortstop who was lifted last inning, and so Luke Thomas will have the at-bat here. First at bat for Luke Thomas. And he goes up there swinging away for strike 1. Thomas hitting .286, just 2 hits and 7 at bats this year. Came in as a pinch hitter in the game yesterday against Monticello as well. That one down the middle for a strike. It's 0-2. Thomas went 0 for 1, struck out looking in his pitch hit at bat in the 9th yesterday. Chris Hunt entered the inning throwing 87 pitches, 65 of them for strikes. The 0-2 is down the right field line. Joseph Gary is at the foul line. In foul territory, makes the catch. A step away from the wall. Played the wall nicely and has the first out in the bottom of the ninth.
That's not soft either. Those are some concrete
Right.
blocks over there. He treaded lightly, but he was also aggressive and did a good job on the catch.
Here's Mike Wade pitch hitting for Jake Perez. Wade also came in as a pitch hitter yesterday for Southeastern. Replaced Connor Counts. Recorded a ground out in the 8th inning. Wade also a pitcher on this team. 1-0 finds the strike zone. It's 1-1. Henderson State trying to advance out of the losers bracket. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. The Reddies will play the 7 o'clock game later tonight. Also trying to pick up their 30th win of the season. 1-2 is a ground ball picked up by the first baseman. Hunter Mayall will take it himself. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. And Southeastern is down to their final out of the season. They took 2 of 3 against East Central to make it to this point. An 8-1 loss yesterday to Monticello. And the center fielder from Eufaula, Oklahoma, 0 for 3 so far today. Up high for a ball, it's 1-0.
Now for the senior, like for him to see if he can close out his career other than 0 for. Then, of course, there are 6 more seniors in the lineup that follow him. It's unlikely for all of them to go out with something positive.
The last GAC complete game shutout occurred 2 years ago as Harding shut out UAM 2-0. The 2-0 finds the strike zone. It's 2-1. A big 4-run 5th inning, but they've also added 5 runs over the last 2 innings. And the Reddies hold a 10-0 lead. 2-1 pitch misses the plate. 3-1 the count to Dylan Helms. Chris Hunt has won his last 6 starts. As he skies this one high, does Dylan Helms in foul territory. Hunter Mayall is there. He makes the catch. And on the 99th pitch from Chris Hunt, he has just delivered the first ever no-hitter in GAC tournament play. With a 10-0 final, the Reddies defeat Southeastern.
At Henderson State, the first since 2003.
And SID for Henderson State, Troy Mitchell, saying it is the 8th no-hitter in Henderson State history. Obviously excited about that. The entire dugout coming out to celebrate him. Michael, I think he got stronger as the game went on.
He absolutely did. He was just a walk away from a perfect game. Logan Terwilliger walked in the 4th inning with 2 outs. An 8 strikeout performance. The most in a single game for Chris Hunt as he picks up the win and moves to 6-6. Said a moment ago that he had won 6 in a row. He'd actually won 5 in a row. I was already giving him credit for this one, I guess. Evens that record back up at 6-6 on a no-hitter. 10 runs on 16 hits, no errors for the Reddies. They stay alive in tournament play. All zeros across the board for the Savage Storm. Their season comes to an end at 29-25. The Reddies, 30 wins and 24 losses. For Joey McWilliams, I'm Michael Westbrook. So long for now from Clydeberry Field on the campus of Henderson State University. This has been a presentation of the GAC Sports Network.